In my computer, it was called competitive eating or something. All of this is true. It seems to me like everyone has or knows a story about some weird kid from school who would eat weird things for money. I haven't personally known anyone like that, but I did come very close to being that person my senior year of high school. When I, after half joking that I would be willing to do so, drank a small cup of marinara sauce at an IHOP and was paid 50 cents for my efforts. It was far from the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but I don't feel like I try to make a living out of it. There are people that do make a living that way, though, and I want to talk about one of those people in the hopes that thinking through what I know about him might help me to understand. On the internet, he is called the LA Beast, but to the people he knows, he is Kevin. As it stands, at the time of writing, Kevin holds 10 Guinness World Records related to competitive eating, including, but not limited to, the fastest time to drink a 2-liter soda through a straw, the most powdered donuts eaten in 3 minutes, and the most cloves of raw garlic eaten in 4 minutes. I want to clarify that he ate 50 cloves of garlic in 4 minutes. And I don't doubt that there is video evidence, though I have not sought it out. I know about Kevin because he has a YouTube channel. And I know about his YouTube channel because of 2 videos in particular that he made 3 or 4 years ago, again at the time of writing. Only one of which is related to eating. The one related to eating involves him eating a 5-pound bag of sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. Which, as I learned some time ago from some incredibly unfortunate and deeply entertaining user reviews, are essentially laxatives hiding behind a different label. The video is at times a chore to watch. I ask that you keep in mind that Kevin is a world record holder in competitive eating when I tell you that it takes him over an hour to finish a bag. The video itself is edited down to about 15 minutes, but the viewer still gets the full impact of what he's going through. It's a masterclass in schadenfreude, and I'm sure there's a thesis on the matter to be found in the last few ungodly minutes. The video which made me want to talk about Kevin was the one unrelated to competitive eating, and, if I'm not mistaken, his most well-known video, a hot ice challenge, for which Kevin spent an undisclosed, albeit reportedly large, sum of his own money to buy hot ice on the internet so that he could boil it into a liquid, cool it down, and stick his entire hand in it. In his videos, Kevin tends to lean into the absurdity and borderline cruelty of the things that he chooses to put himself through in a couple of ways. Part one of his methodology is that just before he sets out to attempt whatever challenge he's lined up for himself, he cheerfully tells the viewer to have a good day. Part two is the soundtrack of light, royalty-free classical music that accompanies the challenge, where he isn't speaking and juxtaposes his imminent discomfort. This video is no different in his approach, but the execution stands out. As soon as he puts his hand in that jar, his face shifts at once from a confident smile into a horrified gasp, and then he starts screaming. The last quarter of the 5-minute video is the aftermath of his trip to the hospital, where he remarks that the doctors, quote, had absolutely no sympathy for him. I don't understand the LA Beast. I don't understand Kevin. Fundamentally, there is something very different between me and him, and I think the foremost thing is that I am generally afraid of being in pain, whereas he seems to have no such hang-ups. Just about every video on his channel involves him going through something awful, like eating warhead candies until his tongue bleeds, or trying and failing to chug a gallon of spoiled milk, or eating superlatively spicy foods, or expired food, or cacti, or light bulbs. The Lincoln concept, the main idea of his channel, isn't just eating, it isn't just competition. The point of every video is that he is in pain. What brings me back to his channel so often isn't so much enjoyment of the content as morbid curiosity and concern for his well-being. There are times I genuinely wonder whether this guy is okay, even when he's not projectile vomiting or shoving his hands in what might as well be a liquid campfire. I can't help but wonder if the concern that I feel for this former football player and Pepsi salesman might be common among fans of competitive eating. The thing about Kevin is that apart from doing things to himself that would probably be illegal if he were to do them to anybody else, he's really not a bad host. Whenever he introduces whatever torturous activity he's decided to engage in, he often comes off as charming, knowledgeable,